Is the Full Focus Planner Wellness Edition the ultimate tool for balancing productivity and self-care, or does it fall a little short? So in this video, I'm going to help you decide if this is the right planner for your wellness journey. We're going to cover some new features like the heart check, the self-care planner tool, and some unexpected design quirks in this complete review. So let's dive in. All right, so let's talk about the good. So the way I'm going to do this video is we're going to cover the good, the not so good, and really who's the wellness planner for and who's it going to work versus the traditional full focus planner. So right off the bat, the obvious thing about it, it is a planner from Michael Hyatt and Full Focus. It is focused on wellness, which is obviously in the name, but what that means is really from top to bottom, really every element of the planner, particularly the daily pages, incorporate a lot of elements for daily wellness habits and self-care habits. So it's really designed to track and keep yourself accountable to take care of yourself. And sometimes you need a tool, and I strongly believe this, you need a tool like a physical paper planner so that you're keeping yourself accountable to take care of yourself. Because really the most important person who can help take care of you is you. So let's start with the first part. I think my favorite thing about this planner, honestly, is for those of us nerds who have like a life plan or a mission statement or a value statement, like something personal for us. I know it's usually, often you think of values or core values or something like that, and you're thinking like, I don't know, big corporate slogan that a bunch of executives went on their weekend retreat, came back with this like binder of like the mission statement for the company. Like, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about your personal values. So Michael Hyatt and Full Focus have a whole process through Life Focus. It's one of their programs where you like specifically build out a values and mission statement. In this planner, it's one of my favorite features is it's just a simple section right at the beginning of the planner where you can write in your personal values, your personal mission statement. So if you're the kind of person that has a clear vision for who you want to be in life, this is the perfect place to like put it right at the beginning of the quarterly planner. And it can be the first thing that you're reviewing when you're doing your weekly review in the Full Focus planner. So I really like the values and mission statement section. Another part of the planner is the vision sketch. It's really just a blank canvas where you can kind of, especially if you're an artistic or creative person, like physically draw and envision your future. And I really like that. It gives you some creativity and flexibility, and you can kind of tailor it down to maybe a theme for the quarter since it is a quarterly planner. So you can do a new vision sketch each new quarter. Another piece that's different from the original Full Focus that I like a lot is the heart checks. It's a series of essentially journal prompts that you can do at the beginning of the quarter that goes through and asks you what moves, excites, and inspire you. And it's a series of questions that tap into your deepest motivation. So it's again trying to find intrinsic motivation for what's important to you. And that's really the heart check. It's the things that relate to your unique contribution for the world. So I really like that too. The next piece in the wellness planner is my personal favorite part. It's a self-care planning tool. It's right at the beginning of the planner, so at the beginning of the quarter, and it's an exercise that you go through. This is for my Full Focus nerds. Like a big part of the Full Focus planners and program is rejuvenation, like doing the things that allow you to rest and recover and are life-giving, like give you energy. So this is like an actual checklist that you can go through and takes each of the categories and Full Focus related to rejuvenation. So that is sleep, eat, move, connect, and relax. And so of those categories, there's a whole series of various prompts, various activities in each of those categories that you can select just a few in each one that build out essentially a list of the kinds of things that you want to do to rest and recover and to take care of yourself, because it is the wellness planner. Now this ties into the daily pages, because on the daily pages, at the top right of the notes page, you're going to see a little meter, actually two of them. One is the joy, and the other is stress. And you just kind of like put a little check mark where you are for the day. And this is the thing that I honestly use the most in the wellness planner, because it's so simple and easy to do each day. And it just is a quick check-in, especially like if you're at the end of your week doing your review, kind of looking back on your week, you can literally kind of track the trends of like how much stress was I experiencing versus how much joy was I experiencing. And that ties back into the self-care planner tool, because as your stress is outpacing your experience of joy, you literally have like the self-care planning tool that you can go back to and work through and be like, okay, where do I want to build more of the specific activities into my week? So it's kind of for someone who's maybe pretty achievement oriented and like always burning the candle at both ends because you're trying to like get the most done and have the highest impact. But you do that at the expense of taking care of yourself. This is a good tool to like actually catch yourself when you're overextending yourself, and you can literally use those daily pages to check the trends of like, I'm gonna use an example of mine. Under the move category, I have like soccer, volleyball, like some of my favorite intramural sports. If I've been too busy to make it to pick up soccer that week, like that's a good example of, yep, I'm probably not prioritizing my time right. And really the last piece is the colors. The wellness planner comes in 2 colors. I really like, and this is my favorite, this is like a dark forest green, and then they have like a more pastel light pink color. I really like the dark green option for me. It's my favorite color. So, all right, so those are my favorite things. These are the things that maybe could use some improvement, or that I've seen some comments in the Full Focus like Facebook community on that maybe may not be your favorite, especially if you're used to the traditional Full Focus planner. And the number one is really that the daily pages are a lot more cluttered. So there's a lot more to them. So big example, like I talked about the joy meter versus the stress meter, like that's with the note pages. The notes section is a little bit smaller so that it also makes room for a section where you can track your movement for the day. You can track how much water you're drinking every day. And then also it has a small log for your meals. So your breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and how you felt about the meals. And then finally, like 2 kind of journal prompts at the end of the daily notes page, which is what am I grateful for and my best thing today, which is kind of like the daily win on the other original Full Focus planner. But that is a lot like packed all into one page, and it sacrifices some space for daily notes to get each of those prompts in. And the other piece with the notes is that it's they're not ruled, which it depends. I think this really just depends on how much of a nerd you are on ruled or lined note sections. It gets rid of those in favor of just having like a large blank canvas for your daily notes. For me personally, I don't particularly use the movement, water, or meals. I don't know what that says about me. Maybe because some of the like physical fitness, self-care things are the pieces that I naturally struggle with the most anyway. So I'm not someone who keeps a food log regularly or has a habit of tracking my daily water intake. Maybe I should be, but I do find myself as someone who started with obviously the original Full Focus planner. It's not really something that I tend to use. So that's just kind of space on the daily pages I don't use as much. And then the other piece is sort of the big 3. And this is where I sort of get into like the nerdy philosophical side of Full Focus and productivity, which is the central thing about this whole planner is the daily big 3. Now, it's the 3 things today that are aligned with your personal priorities and goals. It's the hallmark of the planner. The wellness planner has your daily big 3, but at the bottom of the daily page, it has essentially with the self-care big 3, it's like 3 items that you do for the day to choose self-care. And so I find myself often, what I've been doing is I've honestly been prioritizing self-care more with this planner. I tend to like put those items into my actual daily big 3 instead of using my daily big 3 and the self-care section where it has 3 things that you pick in terms of, or 3 tasks that you can do for self-care. So if you're the kind of person that wants to use both, maybe your daily big 3 is more for work tasks or other productivity tasks, and the section at the bottom for your self-care 3 is for your personal wellness, and that's kind of the way it's designed. I found myself just sticking to the original daily big 3, and I tend to put the important self-care items into that original daily big 3. Maybe, and in that way, maybe I am more of a purist for the original Full Focus planner. So I don't know. So those are probably the things I think that may not appeal to everyone who's like a big fan of the original Full Focus planner. But the question is, and the fundamental question is which one should you get? Like, which one am I going to go for? So I'm just over a month, maybe about 6 weeks into the quarter using the wellness planner. For me, I'm going to stick to it. And I've had kind of a decision to make when we get to the new year. Am I going to switch back to the original or stick with the wellness edition? And so I'm going to tell you right after I tell you about Find Your Death Star. How's that for a little tease? No, I'll make this short. Hey, if you're interested in like setting a big goal and using some of the principles from Full Focus and some of the productivity principles that I talk about here on the channel, which is like all fundamentally about, being clear on your personal values and priorities so that you're applying these like productivity hacks and whatever tips and tricks that we talk about on the channel, you're applying towards what's important to you. I think of that because I'm a massive nerd as your Death Star. It's that one big goal for the year that's going to actually get you some momentum. So I built an entire workshop on this exact subject, and I'll be releasing it here very soon. It's the first link in the description below. It's the waiting list for Find Your Death Star. All right, so which planner? I'm sticking with the wellness planner. But even with some of those elements, I'm at a phase in life, and I've talked about it here all on the channel, where
the wellness piece is the most important part of the productivity piece and like the long-term goals I'm working on. And so that's why I like the wellness planning more. It's the intent behind it and the overall design behind it and spirit behind it is something that I very much agree with. I really need at this phase of my life. So I'm sticking with the wellness planner, even with the pages being a little bit more cluttered. If for no other reason, honestly, the daily check-in on joy versus stress, and then tying that to like specific activities that I want to start building into my routine and into my schedule more. Like that level of practical application for self-care is something that I find really, really useful as someone who's not naturally inclined towards that kind of thing anyway. So in that way, I think it's worked best for me. So that's gonna wrap up this video. I hope you enjoy it. I've got a full playlist of full focus videos talking about the planners, tips and tricks, some of the basic principles that Michael Hyatt's talked about for years. I'm a full focus certified pro, which means that I'm just a giant, massive productivity nerd. And so I hope this video has been helpful. If you're interested in a complete side-by-side initial impressions video of the wellness planner, and you can literally compare it to the original, you can click this video right here. Until next time, may the force be with you always.